Hello Thrones fans, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a chilling what-if scenario. A new shadow stretching over Westeros long after the fall of the Night King. Forget everything you thought you knew about the army of the dead. This is something new, something more sinister. We're talking about the rise of the Undead Legion. It all begins not with a march from the frozen north, but with whispers from the dusty crypts of Old Town. Maesters poring over ancient, brittle texts find cryptic passages long dismissed as folklore. They speak of a slumbering evil, a power that doesn't just raise the dead, but commands them with intellect and malice. These aren't the mindless wights we remember. This is a calculated, creeping dread. Simultaneously, strange things are happening across the Seven Kingdoms. In the Reach, entire fields of golden wheat suddenly turn black with blight overnight. On the coasts of the Stormlands, a chilling, unnatural fog rolls in. A fog that doesn't just obscure sight, but seems to muffle sound and drain the very warmth from the air. From the quiet villages in the Riverlands to the remote foothills of the Vale, panicked smallfolk whisper tales of fleeting shadows, figures moving at the edge of their vision, too quick to be human, too solid to be tricks of the light. These are the first signs, the tremors before the earthquake. Then, the whispers turn into screams. The first reports are easily dismissed as bandit attacks or local disputes. A small holdfast in the Westerlands goes silent. A fishing village on the Iron Islands is found abandoned, nets still full, but not a soul in sight. But then come the survivors, their eyes wide with terror. They don't speak of raiders. They speak of fighting their own fallen kin, reanimated and moving with a terrifying purpose. Our heroes, perhaps a seasoned Brienne of Tarth or a wary Samwell Tarly, are sent to investigate these isolated incidents. They arrive expecting to find common brigands. Instead, they face a handful of reanimated corpses. At first, it feels familiar, a grim echo of the Great War. They fight, they win, but something is wrong. These creatures don't just swarm. They flank, they set traps, they retreat when a fight is lost. There's a chilling intelligence behind their eyes. This initial victory leaves not a sense of relief, but a deep, gnawing unease. The rules of the game have changed. The true horror is revealed when a larger patrol, led by a capable commander like Grey Worm, finally corners a larger group of these new undead. As they prepare to charge, the undead don't just shamble forward. They part, forming ranks. From behind them, skeletal lieutenants bearing rusted sigils step forth, directing the lesser dead with silent, bony gestures. It's a horrifying revelation. This isn't a mindless horde. This is an army. An organized, disciplined legion with a command structure. Someone, or something, is leading them. And the scale of this new threat is staggering. As maesters and spies piece together the terrifying puzzle, the picture becomes clear. This isn't just reanimated humans. We see undead giants from the north, their flesh sloughing off but their strength undiminished. We see drowned sailors clawing their way from the depths, trailing seaweed and spectral light. Even more terrifying, reports speak of reanimated direwolves and shadowcats. Moving with unnatural speed and cunning, their howls echoing with an otherworldly hunger. Their tactics are a strategist's worst nightmare. They use their immunity to fear and pain to their full advantage. Imagine undead archers who can hold a draw for days, firing with perfect, unnerving precision. Imagine sappers who simply dig under a castle wall and wait, buried alive, until the signal is given to collapse the foundations from within. They employ psychological warfare, using the faces of recently fallen friends and family to break the morale of their enemies. This legion learns, adapts, and evolves with every battle. And who is the mind behind this sophisticated terror? The whispers from the crypts and the visions of red priestesses begin to align, painting the portrait of a new antagonist. Necromancer. not a creature of ice and cold, but one of flesh, blood, and immense dark power. Perhaps a disgraced maester who delved too deep into forbidden lore, or an ancient sorcerer from the ruins of Valyria, awakened from a long slumber. This leader is charismatic, not a silent king, but a voice that promises power to the desperate and eternal service to the dead. They are the architect of this new apocalypse, and their ambition is not just to end life, but to rule over a kingdom of eternal, silent obedience. As the sheer scope of the Undead Legion becomes undeniable, panic grips the Seven Kingdoms. The fragile peace forged after the last war shatters. Old rivalries reignite. Dorne blames the Reach. The Ironborn see an opportunity for plunder, and the Lords of the Vale consider sealing themselves off once more. Messages fly by Raven across the continent, carrying desperate pleas for alliances. Queens and kings, once consumed with their own power plays, now scramble to mobilize their armies, only to find them ill-equipped to fight a foe that feels no pain and adds your own fallen soldiers to its ranks. Researchers in Old Town and priests in the Red Temples work feverishly, searching for a weakness, a countermeasure to this new form of undeath. Is it fire? Is it Valyrian steel? Or is the magic animating them so different that the old rules no longer apply? For the common folk, the choice is stark and immediate. Do you flee, becoming a refugee on roads swarming with unseen horrors? Do you stay and fortify your village, hoping to withstand a siege against an enemy that never tires? Or do you join the resistance, picking up a pitchfork or a rusty sword to fight for the dawn, however hopeless it may seem? These are the brutal choices faced by ordinary people, the unsung heroes of this new war. This sets the stage for a conflict that will dwarf even the War of the Five Kings. We can already envision the pivotal battles to come. A desperate defense of the Bloody Gate in the Vale, not against mountain clans, but against an army that can scale sheer cliffs without fear. A naval battle off the coast of Dragonstone, where living sailors fight against the drowned crews of sunken ships. The balance of power is no longer about who has the most dragons or the largest army. It's about who can hold on to hope when faced with an unending tide of death. But even in this darkness, glimmers of hope emerge. New leaders are forged in the fires of these early battles. Perhaps a young lord who discovers a lost piece of lore, or a common soldier who devises a new tactic that proves effective. Characters we thought were minor players might rise to become the symbols of the resistance. It's in this crucible of despair that true heroes are made, figures who will rally the fractured kingdoms of men for one last stand. This is the precipice. The Undead Legion is not just another enemy. It's a fundamental challenge to the very concept of life and death in Westeros. The stakes are not merely a throne, but the soul of the world itself. It's a powerful call to action, a reminder that even when faced with an unblinking, unending enemy, the will to live, to fight, and to protect one another is a magic all its own. What do you think? Who could be this new necromancer, and which of our favorite characters would be key to stopping them? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. It's a terrifying thought, but a fascinating one to explore. Thanks so much for watching. You enjoyed this deep dive? Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you do not miss our next journey into the world of ice and fire. See you next time.